In a small wooden house in Kanazawa, before she ever steps into the bath, a woman named Yuki rinses the whole day away under the shower first, and only then lowers herself into the clean, still water of the ofuro. The room around her holds almost nothing. No crowded shelf, no row of half-empty bottles, no basket of things she keeps meaning to sort. The counter is bare, the floor is dry, and the whole small room feels as clean as the water she's sitting in. Now think of your own bathroom this morning. The counter you had to move things on just to set down a toothbrush, the shower shelf crowded with bottles you don't even use, the mat that never quite dries. Here's what most videos get wrong. A Japanese bathroom doesn't feel clean because of some expensive fixture you'll never install. It feels clean because it keeps almost nothing it doesn't need. So here are 15 things a calm Japanese bathroom quietly never keeps, and not one of them asks you to knock down a wall or spend a single yen. Number 8 is expiring in your cabinet right now, and number 15 is the one even minimalists forget. Stay to the end, and even if you rent, you'll be able to do every one of these tonight. Let's begin. Start with the habit that explains the whole room. In Japan, you wash and rinse completely before you get into the tub. The ofuro is only for soaking in clean water, never for washing. That one habit is why a Japanese tub has no gray soap ring around the waterline. The soap never enters the water at all. There's a word for this kind of clean: seiketsu. Not just tidy, but a cleanliness the room is arranged to keep on its own. You can't rebuild your bathroom the Japanese way, and you don't need to. You can borrow the real secret, keep less in it, and most of that clean comes to you for free. Once you see the room that way, half the cleaning you dread simply stops being necessary. We'll go in 5 small groups. Start with whichever shelf you're a little embarrassed to open. The first group is every flat surface: the counter, the sink edge, the shower shelf. 1. The crowd of products covering the counter. Most of us use the same 5 things every morning, while 20 more sit out collecting dust and water spots and making the whole room look busy. Keep out only what you touch daily. Everything else goes behind a door, and the bare counter does half the work of a deep clean. A wiped-down, empty counter takes 10 seconds. A counter you have to lift 20 things off of is why cleaning feels like a chore. 2. The row of half-empty bottles along the edge of the tub. Shampoo, conditioner, 3 body washes, the samples you never finished, each one leaving a slick ring where it sits on the wet edge. Keep the few you actually reach for, and the tub edge stops being a shelf you have to clean around. 3. The rusting razor and the worn-out toothbrushes. A rusted blade and a frayed brush aren't just clutter. They're 2 of the few things in the room you actually put on your body, so these are the easy yes. Swap the blade, replace the brush every few months, and the cup by the sink stops looking neglected. The second group hides behind the mirror, the things that have quietly expired. 4. Old makeup. Mascara, sunscreen, half the jars in the drawer have a quiet expiry, and past it they stop doing their job and start being something you keep only out of habit. 5. Expired medicine in the cabinet. Old pills lose their strength and crowd the one shelf you want clear in a hurry, so gather them up and drop them at a pharmacy take-back, never down the drain. Clearing them also means that in a hurry, the only thing in reach is medicine that still works. 6. The growing stash of hotel samples and gift sets you're saving for someday. Someday rarely comes, and there's a gentler word for letting them go: danshari, releasing the hold a thing has on you. So use them this month, or pass them on unopened. 7. The duplicates. 5 half-used lotions, 3 nearly empty toothpastes, 2 of every cream. Combine what you can and finish one before opening the next. That's mottainai, honoring what you already have instead of letting it dry out unused. 2 good products you'll actually finish beat a shelf of bottles you're afraid to throw away. The third group is the one that holds moisture, the towels and the mats. 8. Too many old, thinning towels. A stack of scratchy, faded towels takes up the whole cupboard while you reach for the same 2 soft ones anyway. Keep those and let the rest become cleaning rags. A cupboard you can close easily is worth more than a spare set you forgot you owned. 9. The mat and towels that never fully dry. A mat that stays damp grows mildew underneath and quietly holds a smell in the room. But here's the honest part. Don't throw the mat out, because a good one keeps you from slipping on a wet floor. Keep one quick-drying, non-slip mat and hang it to dry between uses instead of 3 that stay wet on the floor. 10. The plastic shower curtain going moldy along the bottom. You don't need to tear out your shower to fix this. Just swap the moldy liner for one you can machine wash and wash it before it turns into a science project. The 4th group is the quiet plastic that piles up. Empties and packaging. 11. Empty bottles you're keeping to reuse. 1 or 2 is thrift. A shelf of them is just clutter waiting for a project that never starts, so recycle them and free the space. The room you get back is worth more than the few coins the empty bottle might have saved. 12. The boxes and packaging you kept just in case. The box a device came in isn't protecting anything on a damp shelf. Keep the manual if you must and let the cardboard go. Damp cardboard warps, softens, and quietly grows the very mildew you're trying to keep out. 13. The old loofah or sponge. A loofah that lives in a wet shower is one of the germiest things in the room. Replace it often and let it dry fully between uses. A quick-drying brush or cloth you can hang up will always beat a sponge that never dries. The last group is what doesn't belong in a wet room at all: decoration and the things that trap damp. 14. The decorative clutter. Candles on the tub, a framed print, a fake plant, little souvenirs on the windowsill. In the dampest room in the house, every extra object just collects moisture and dust. And there's a Japanese idea, kirei, where clean and beautiful are the same word, because the cleanliness is the beauty. Let the room be lovely by being clean, not by being decorated. The one thing that does belong is a plant that loves the humidity, alive, not plastic. 15. The rug or carpet around the toilet. It's the one even careful people forget, soft fabric sitting in the least appropriate place in the home to absorb anything. Swap it for a floor you can simply wipe, and keep only that one quick-dry mat by the shower. Your feet stay just as comfortable, and the room finally has one less thing quietly holding water. Here's what ties it together, and it's the part the fixture videos miss. The Japanese bathroom feels clean because of a habit and a little restraint, not a renovation. Rinse before you soak. Keep only what you use. Dry what holds water. None of that depends on owning the room. So this works just as well in a rental as in a house you own, and it never asks you to bash anyone or spend a fortune. And a bare, clean bathroom isn't a cold one. A single plant that likes humidity, one warm light, one soft towel, and the room feels calm instead of clinical. The calm isn't in the tile or the tub, it's in how little the room is asked to carry. So begin tonight with the easiest drawer in the house. Open the cabinet and take out just the things that have expired, the old medicine, the dried-up makeup. Tomorrow, clear the counter down to the few things you use every day. And the next time you walk in, notice how a room with nothing extra in it seems to have already been cleaned, because in a way, it has. Somewhere in Kanazawa, Yuki isn't scrubbing harder than you. She just gave the room less to hold. That's the whole method, not scrubbing harder but keeping less, and it costs nothing to start. Tell us which shelf you're clearing first, and if you rent, tell us that too. This almanac was always just neighbors comparing notes, and we read every one. And share it with the one person whose bathroom counter you just pictured. A clean bathroom isn't the one you scrub the most, it's the one you ask to hold the least. Next time in the almanac, we stop at the entrance, the Genkan, where the whole house decides what it lets inside. Until then, own less, live with Kanso. Own less, live with Kanso.